Have you ever heard of third culture kids? That's what they call people like me, having dual national identities, but feeling alienated from both of them. I was born in Japan and lived there until I began school. I loved life in Japan and thought it would be like this forever. But I was wrong. I was only 7 when my parents and I moved to France. I was too little to understand where France was and couldn't conceive another culture that wasn't Japanese. I had to go to a French school where I couldn't understand anybody, and I made no friends. I just couldn't fit in. Though I adapted quickly, life never got easy for me. On my 8th birthday, I invited my classmates to my birthday party. I was ready for a happy birthday celebration, but I found I had to be brave asking them to take their shoes off before entering the house, which is what Japanese people do. Shortly after, when I went to my friend's birthday party, I noticed his dad asleep on his bed with his shoes on. I thought that was so strange. Then I realized that courtesies are very different all around the world. Sometimes, I used to walk down the street and older students would call out Chinoise, which is French for Chinese. At first, I didn't really understand, so it was okay. But as I grew older, I heard it more and more. I never got used to hearing people identifying me as Asian, like they were trying to cast me out of their society, separating me from them. I began to feel sorry for myself and resented my Asian face. Maybe having blonde hair and blue eyes might help me fit in their cliques. I didn't realize at the time that it really didn't matter. So I worked very hard to immerse myself in the local culture. I learned to speak with a thick and authentic local accent, and people said it was good. They told me that I spoke with a thick southwestern French accent. But I never felt like I truly fit in, despite this acknowledgement. The psychological dilemma from childhood only seemed to grow worse. It just always lingered in the back of my mind. Eventually, I started proudly proclaiming myself Japanese and fell in love with the culture, which became one of my comfort zones. I still felt torn between France and Japan, and I really felt like I was having a serious kind of identity crisis. This is the reason why, after living abroad for so long, I decided to go back to Japan and finally thought I could settle down into one culture and just be normal. But I was wrong again. People couldn't accept me as Japanese. They expected me to be authentically Japanese from the way I look. But once they saw I was foreign and different, I felt them grow cold and separate from me. It made me feel like no matter where I go, I will never fit in. Then it struck me. Why not celebrate being a third culture kid? I realized I have the best of both worlds. I am Japanese and French. And how wrong the French are to call me Chinoise. How wrong the Japanese are to call me Francésine. Despite having this identity crisis, I am now proud to be mixed. I recently have accomplished a TEDx talk, which I called Third Culture Kid. No. Bridging kids. An inclusive phrase that accepts kids that embrace more than one culture. I know many people that have shut down a part of themselves to assimilate one culture and no other. In fact, I was one of those kids trying to shut down my French identity to assimilate Japan. But I was one of the lucky ones who realized the importance of bridging kids. I am a bridging kid that wants to make connections, bridge this world, and make contributions to this society. We bridging kids are the keys to making bridges between cultures of this world and work as cultural ambassadors uniting both of the countries that belong to us. The best thing about bridging kids is that you don't have to be a third culture kid to become a bridging kid. You can still become a bridging kid in your actions, bridging friendships and allegiances, leading by example. If you struggle being a bridging kid at first, remember that you are blessed with unique opportunities. If you embrace every culture globally, you will be able to bridge the world and bring people together in fellowship. What do you think is better? A world where people treat each other as a stranger or an enemy? or a world where we treat each other as friends.